Good first day. Like I mentioned yesterday, we split the squad, 2 practices. I thought that went really well. Had a great focus on individual fundamentals and continuing to introduce concepts and schemes, but really wanted to have a big fundamental emphasis with a lot of individual attention. And I thought our guys did a really nice job with that today. Obviously it was the first time that we could be out there with everybody moving full speed, getting a chance to throw and catch, obviously, continuing to work against each other, but now getting a chance to do it at a much higher tempo, and I think our guys responded well. Had good carryover. I think there's been a lot of mental development throughout the last couple of weeks, being able to utilize the walkthroughs. So I was pleased with what I saw today.
Questions for Coach? Corey Clark from War Chant.
Hey, Mike, I guess I just want to get your, not really your take on DeMarcus, because we know it. We saw your reply to your statement. But maybe the conversations you have with the players about their safety and the protocol. So because it seems like you guys are taking them very, very seriously.
Absolutely, and it's something that that we've addressed it throughout the summer, like I mentioned yesterday, and every young man has a choice, and like I said, respect Jamarcus's decision, and much like I said in the statement earlier.
Chris Meade from 247.
Hey, Coach.
How's it going, Chris?
Good, man. I just was wondering, having the whole team together, with split segments like you guys did, from a conditioning standpoint, are you surprised at how good of shape they're in with the fact that guys were so separated for so many months?
Well, obviously it was today was that first step of really the elevated tempo, trying to push those guys in some areas, and I've been pleased with what I've seen. I think we still have a long ways to go to get to where we would probably normally be with a complete summer of mandatory workouts. But our guys, they've worked, and I thought they handled themselves well today. There's some anxiety with some of the young guys. This first day of a practice as a Seminole, and sometimes you get guys that you find themselves probably more worked up than what they normally would be. But I thought they handled themselves, and the workload. It was pretty impressive for the most part, and so we're just continuing to work through that. I think some of the guys going at full speed. It's the first time that we've ever had the full face visors and face shields on, and that's something that we're going to continue to work through with them, and I think they're going to get more used to that as we get more practices under our belt, moving at full speed.
Next will be Ira from War Chant.
Hey, Coach, is the first of all, is the face shields, is that definitely going to be used in games, or is that an evaluation process? And then also, one of the, Tamari and Terry talked about, when we spoke to them earlier, they talked about the things they were able to do when they were away, the workouts they were able to do on their own. When they got back for the voluntary workouts, were a lot of those guys close to where they were at the end of the spring, or has it been a big process to get them back to that level again?
Well, I think to answer the face shield question, that's something that we are evaluating. I think that as we continue to get closer, we have right at a month before we play, and so we're going to explore all options that are best options. But the face shield is the plan right now, and as we get closer, we'll continue to see what that looks like before we have the first game. In regards to where guys are. I think I think there's been a lot of growth, and I think the mental aspect of what to expect has definitely. I saw a lot more confidence out there on the field. This first practice compared to where they were in the spring. I thought we threw and caught the ball at a much higher rate than where we had at any of the first three practices, which was definitely pleasing. I thought that the two young quarterbacks came in and for a first practice for Chuba, and obviously a fourth practice for Tate. I thought those guys looked really good in what they did. Jordan Travis, I thought threw the ball really well, and James had by far his best day of the four that I've got to see him, and you can tell that just that confidence of what they're being asked to do, continuing to hear the fundamental expectation and then trying to apply that. It's really at all positions, but I thought that across the board, our guys, they're at a good place. I think there's still a great amount of work to do physically just to be able to catch up from some of the time that was missed.
Next will be Pat Burno from the Osceola.
Hey, Coach, all well. Just wanted to ask you, coaching the small fraternity, you mentioned the split squad practices. Did you talk to any other coaches or staff to see what they were doing? I mean, obviously you've got friends with coaching. And just wondered how you guys ended up going with split squad to get any ideas from any other of your friends and coaches.
And, I think I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but this is something that I've done. I did it at Memphis for a few years, and I've done it. Even when I was at Arizona State, we kind of there were times that we would break up and have this type of practice, and COVID gives you other reasons. There's other benefits of that to have the split practice. Our plan right now is to do 2 more practices like this, but on the flip side of it, for me, it's all about the individual attention, the repetition that can get a little bit more challenging with a full squad. There's so. If we would have had all spring together and probably a greater foundation of work, I would probably there could be some changes to what we would have done, starting off of camp, but especially with missing all that time. I wanted to really have an individualized focus on the fundamentals and making sure that we're bringing the guys along slowly as we rolled back in here in the fall camp.
Next is going to be Matt Marshall from Orlando. Okay, we'll go to Corey from War Champs.
Yeah, Mike, I was wondering, we saw Rich Morian today, and obviously he's putting on some weight, some muscle. He looks almost like a different guy. How does, I guess, Coach Storms and his staff get somebody like Morian to put on weight and to keep the speed, which makes him so dynamic?
Well, I mean, that's it's our training is the core of who we are and what we're all about, and I think Coach Storms does an incredible job with the muscle development, helping guys build mass and strength, but as they get stronger, we see a great increase in their speed as well, and I would say Tamarian's running. At an extremely high level with his top end speed, but you can also see the confidence and the strengths when he's trying to change direction. I think that's showing up from growth of what he's done in the weight room, and you got to give a lot of credit to our nutritional program. Marissa and her staff have done an extraordinary job as well in helping educate these guys of what it takes to put the right types of foods in their bodies, and it's a sacrifice of their time, of their energy to do it the right way. But I think when they've seen that type of payoff, physically, and just the confidence that they give them, it's something that they're even drawing that much more to. So I think we've got a really good staff in both areas, and these guys are seeing the rewards of that work, and so I think they're passionate to continue to develop and grow like that.
All right, we're going to go back to Matt.
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to ask a few parts. Do you have any sort of message to your team when you guys went on the practice field today with everything that's going on? And can you talk a little bit about what maybe going on the field for the first time in a while has meant? And also, how challenging was it on the field to focus not only on football, but also some of the safety protocols you guys were doing with COVID?
Well, I think we've talked about it. Last night we had a team meeting, as a kind of a start to camp, and we talked about the journey. There's some of the things that we've had to go through, some of the challenges that have shown up, and through the sacrifice and the decisions that our guys have made, and all those protocols that you're talking about, the administration and what they've put in place for us. That's why we have the opportunity to go out and practice today, and we want to be respectful of all the protocols of what we're expected to do, and making sure that our guys are staying safe, and you're doing this the right way, because you could tell. I mean, the minute we hit the field, I mean, these guys, it brought a smile to their face, and we've got a team that's hungry to get better, and that was probably the thing that I was most pleased with, is that I mean, even on day one, I was challenging guys. I was trying to just challenge mindset, challenge approach, and you could tell that they're really embracing that coaching, and what we're looking to do, and so we just have to continue on and get better tomorrow.
All right, we're gonna go to Gene from War Camp.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing well, Gene. How about you?
Pretty good, thanks. When you have a position group, like let's say running back this year, where it's almost all newcomers there, in these early stages of practices, is it just more fundamental work? Is there more work in the film room? You have a group that's basically, like I said, just completely new. How do you handle that maybe differently than an experienced group comes back?
I mean, this is a group that we have, and so here in a month from now, that's a group that's going to be taking the field, and I think it was one of the bright spots of today's practice this morning, and even some flashes this afternoon with the freshmen. I mean, that's we've got a talented group, and I'm excited about those guys. I think Coach Johnson's done a wonderful job in the meetings, the meeting rooms, and their understanding of the offense. I've been in this position before, and we know how to get young players acclimated to what it takes to be ready for game day, and I think these guys, from a talent, knowledge, and physical skill set, I'm really looking forward to this group and how they're going to play and how they're going to develop here for their future.
All right, and the last one will be Ira from War Camp.
Coach, James Blackman has obviously had an unusual college career with 4 different offensive systems, basically 4 different coordinators and quarterback coaches. Can that be a positive in the sense that he's seen so much and seen so many different things that he can apply them? Or is that something that's hindered his development a little bit? I mean, what have you seen from him from the time the end of the spring to today? Like you said, he had a really good year.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's unfortunate, for any young man to have to go through that much change, especially at that position. I mean, every year you're learning a new language. Every year, there's new expectations. I'm really excited about, just, his approach to it, and seeing the growth. I mean, from 4 days of practice to today, just the confidence and understanding what the language is. I guess a positive that you could say is that he's had to do it before, so it's he's used to trying to absorb that type of information. But we've got to do a great job with all of our quarterbacks and helping them along through this process. It was, you would like to say you have 15 spring practices under your belt, and you've been able to learn a lot of those lessons on the run, but that wasn't our reality. And so these guys have had to take a lot of the ownership of film study, of spending their own extra individual time, getting their footwork and things like that that's critical in this offense. We're a timing based passing attack, and we spend a lot of time teaching fundamentals. We spend a lot of times helping to develop the quarterback in all aspects, physically and mentally. And so when guys embrace that process, that's some of the greatest joys that I get as a coach. And I think Coach Dillingham's done a remarkable job so far to this point in painting the picture. And you could tell, with James, Jordan. I mean, you watch Jordan throw today. Like I said, coming in, there was a lot of question marks of what he could, and I mean, he looked really good as well. And those 2 young freshmen, they can sling it. So it was a fun day for the quarterback position. I enjoyed seeing him out there.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.